Greetings, everyone. We are going to talk about being comfortable. We're going to talk about being comfortable and why that could be a problem for you. That's going to be the focus of my Transformational Tuesday. Again, greetings, everyone. It's Linda Talaferro from the T, the Extra Effort, where I help professionals get unstuck. One of the areas we're going to talk about tonight, so that you can see growth in your career and get to that seat at the table that you envision for yourself. So when I said that comfort area, I completely know what it is to be comfortable. We all have these things in our lives, not just in our careers, but in our lives, that if they don't take place, we're a little off, right? If it doesn't happen, it seems like the rest of the day is not the same. I know for me, pre-COVID, 8 o'clock Saturday mornings, citizen yoga, Washington Street here in Royal Oak, Michigan. You can find your girl there. And when I didn't make it to yoga, my weekends were off. And that's not really where my comfort ends. Going to there at 8 o'clock, session didn't start till 8:45, so I'm mingling, talking, love to talk. Go to my session at 8:45, and then after that, I gotta get a smoothie and maybe something else from Cacao Tree on 4th Street in Royal Oak. That's my Saturday routine. Absolutely love it. And when I don't get a chance to do that, I'm a bit off because it's part of my comfort zone. It's actually what makes me feel good every weekend. That's in my personal life. And you guys hear me say all the time, what's in my personal life is professional life. And so I have comfort zones. I've had them throughout my career in my professional life as well. So, but what I learned early on, and I learned it through a big stretch of getting out of the comfort zone, which I'm going to share with you. I learned that getting out of that sparked my growth. So I would offer to you to think about this as I'm talking tonight or today or in the morning, wherever you are in the world listening to this. If you're finding yourself in a rut, if you're a bit down, held back, kind of things just aren't, they're sluggish. I bet you it's because you're in your comfort zone. You've been there too long. You've gotten too settled. And so therefore the excitement is gone. You're not being stretched. You're not being challenged. And that's why you're in a rut. Early in my career, I left a division of General Motors, went to Bosch. And while I was at Bosch, there was an opportunity to live and work in Germany. Now, mind you, the most I'd been maybe is to a couple states in the US, nowhere out of the country. I'd never been out of the country before. I was intrigued by foreign language, so I was taking it at Bosch. But when it was time for them to say, hey, who would go to Germany and live and learn how to build fuel injectors? I raised my hand. And I can't tell you how scared I was. Never been out, like I said, a few states in the US, definitely had not been out of the country, barely learning the language. And at the time I went, which was the late 80s, it's not like it is today. Germany now is favorite country, love it. But it was quite different back then. But I raised my hand and said, I'll go learn something totally new, which was ABS. I was in the fuel injector, so I mentioned that before. So I was in fuel, knew nothing about anti-lock brakes, nothing. Knew nothing about Germany, but I said I'd go. And I can't tell you, I don't think I can quantify the benefit, the value that the rest of my career experienced because I took that risk, because I stepped out of my comfort zone. I stepped out of doing what I was comfortable with day to day at Bosch in the fuel injection world and had gotten really good at it. I stepped out of that, went into ABS, and then even had the nerve to go to Germany on top of that. You've got to be willing to take the risks. You've got to not allow your comfort zone to continue to hold you back. I am not saying that there is a downside to being good at what you do. Absolutely. You've mastered your craft. But what I'm saying is, don't allow yourself to stay there. Don't allow yourself to, don't limit yourself and your growth. Don't play small, play big. Because part of being a leader and in part of getting into that executive ranks, that seat that you see for yourself, is being able to take risks. Being able to take risks. Now, when I went over to Germany, did I do it all extremely well? Absolutely not. Of course I made mistakes. I mean, goodness gracious, I was barely learning the language. But I learned, I grew from that experience. So then when I went to BMW after that, guess who was the only person that spoke German out of all the Americans when they were opening the plant in South Carolina? Your girl. Led that, took people from Spartanburg, South Carolina to Munich, Germany. But it was because I took the risk when I was at Bosch. And I lived there for a year, made the mistakes, learned and grew, took myself out of the comfort zone that I was in. It has made all the difference. The only reason why I can sit in the seat that I have today in a global role is because I've had that experience living and working out of the country. So I know you're listening to this and you're like, Linda, that look, first of all, there's no way. I'm not leaving the US. No way. I hear you. Okay, so don't maybe take that leap initially, but do this. Raise your hand. If there's an initiative, a small group, a small team, a small project, and it may not be in your sphere of responsibility. It may not even be in anything you've ever done. What I'm saying to you is raise your hand. Say, you know what? I'll take that on. Don't be afraid to take that risk. Step out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. I absolutely guarantee that you will grow. You will grow. Others will notice. And it will be that yet stepping stone along your way of getting to that seat at the table. So I'm telling you, I know for a fact, because I lived it, that allowing yourself to be too comfortable and getting in that comfortable zone and just sitting there will stifle your growth. It could actually be one of the main factors as to why you're in the rut, why you're not moving forward. And like I said early on, when I opened up, I get it. I get it. I understand that being comfortable feels good. Going in every day, doing what you know you do, hitting those home runs every day feels good. I completely can relate. But what I'm telling you is you're hitting the same home runs. So it gets to the point where people expect that. Of course you're going to be good at it. You've been doing it for the past 5 or 6 years. What else can you do? What else can you do? That's the key, right? So I know there's been some of you that have shared your lack of confidence that, Linda, I'm struggling with self-confidence. Well, this is also the reason why you're struggling in self-confidence. Yet you may not be in a rut, but you have a self-confidence issue. This is another reason why, because you are afraid to stretch yourself. You're afraid to make those mistakes, learn and grow. You got to figure out what the root of that is so that you can get out of your own way. So you can get out of your own way in this aspect and move your career forward. Move your career forward. So, as you're thinking about the next weeks, the months ahead, we're all going to be going into a new normal here soon. We're going to be going into that new normal. What is that going to be different for you? How are you going to say, okay, I'm getting out of this rut. I'm in a new normal. I'm taking control of the reins of my career. I'm driving this bus called my career, called Linda's career, and I'm shifting it down a different lane. And that shift that you want to take down a different lane, you guys know, if you've been hanging with me, my word for 2020 is shift. If you're going to shift down a different lane, that new lane I'm offering to you is stepping out of your comfort zone. Leap, take a jump. Yes, all in. You will not regret it the least bit. This girl from Newcastle, Pennsylvania, who was just in the workforce, maybe 4 or 5 years out of college, can go live in Germany for a year, barely speaking the language. I mean, I knew how to say hello, I think, goodbye, maybe where's the bathroom? I mean, seriously, I didn't know a lot. I'm fluent now, obviously, but when I went, I wasn't. And I was from a small podunk town in Pennsylvania. But that move alone, and I'm going to tell you, was I wise enough to know it then? Not totally. Not totally. Kind of had a little idea, just a little, but I just had, hey, it's Germany. I'm going. Now I look back on that. Oh my gosh, the difference it made in my career. The difference it made. So for you, if you're not ready for such a big move, I get it. But don't walk away when that major initiative over in that group over there, that's not the one you're in right now, rises, and you know you have it within you to lead it. Step up. Step up. Get in the game. Raise your hand. Go for it. You will not regret it. I'm here, living witness. I got several clients, living witness, tons of mentees, living witness. That when they do this, when they get out of their comfort zone, it shifts them into that different lane and changes the trajectory of their career completely. I put a link in the comments. If for whatever reason you still aren't sure that you can make that move, that you can get out of your comfort zone, connect with me. Let's talk about it. I definitely can help you make that shift that I guarantee you will not regret it. So if you're wondering why you're in a rut, if you're wondering why things are slowed down, if you're wondering why, you feel like I'm small, I'm claustrophobic, things aren't happening, suppose you're in your own way. Got to get out the comfort zone, expand, grow, take those risks. You won't regret it. All right, that's enough for Transformation Tuesdays. Hit me up, send me some comments. I would love to hear from you. When you do take the risk, when you do step out of there, share with me that experience. I'd love to hear it. All right, take care.